Hi, my name is Pat Forbeck, and this is my final project presentation for LibMedia 175. For this presentation, I'll be focusing on a game called Deep Rock Galactic, a 4-player PvE FPS game with a format similar to Left 4 Dead 2. It was developed by Ghost Ship Games in Denmark, and it's their only game. First, a little about the game. You play the dwarf, working for an intergalactic mining company called Deep Rock Galactic. The game can be played solo or by up to 3 other players, and consists of missions with a variety of challenges and environments to overcome. You must complete these missions while under siege by the local wildlife, massive alien bugs. There are 4 classes in the game: Scout, Engineer, Driller, and Gunner, depicted here. Each of these classes have their own unique primary and secondary for combat, a tertiary and quaternary slot for utility, and finally a pickaxe, flare, armor, and grenade slot. Both of the combat slots have 3 alternatives that are significantly different from each other. They do not come unlocked by default, but they can be earned within a few hours simply by playing the game. Every weapon has 3 to 5 gear modification slots. Each offers several options to minorly alter how the weapon performs: weapon spread, spin-up time, damage, range, etc. As these gear modification slots are unlocked, you automatically earn skins, paints, and small buffs to the items. Just by purchasing all of the armor gear modifications, you can gain 15 plus health. For weapons, you gain skins. On top of that, each of these weapons have overclocks, a single slot equipable which majorly alters the way the weapon performs. There are 3 different kinds of overclocks: clean or green, balanced or yellow, and unstable or red. Each have varying degrees of upsides and downsides to accompany them. A fully decked out setup would look something like this. Each of these modifications change your weapon's choice in a small way, and when properly utilized can reinforce your playstyle and make the game even more fun. To add on to the weapons upgrades, there are also player character upgrades, called perks. Perks can be purchased in a terminal using perk points. These perks can be sorted into 2 categories: passive and active. Passive perks allow you to do things like deposit minerals into the meal faster, while active perks allow you to do things like hover, sense danger, or revive after being downed. Perk points can be earned by completing milestones, and generally just playing the game. There are so many milestones that you'll have earned all of the perks just by playing them before you ever have to go hunting for them. By default, only 1 active and 1 passive slot are unlocked, and the rest can be unlocked by promoting. Promotion can be achieved by reaching level 25. Each game completed contributes to your level until you hit the cap, level 25. Once you reach that level, you must complete a 4-level assignment. Once you promote, you'll reset to level 1 and can start working towards another promotion. These promotions don't actually provide much of value, but they are an easy way to showcase your experience to others. The perks, gear modification, overclock, modding, and character selection system all allow for an extreme level of user gameplay customization. While the player is moderately restricted towards the beginning of the game, once you promote once, you basically have total freedom to play however you want. In terms of race, gender, and sexuality, the main characters are dwarves, and by default have white skin. But there are several skin options available that can be equipped that vary from brown and black to gold and blue. The dwarves never express any sexuality one way or another, and are all male presenting. There are also no female, trans, or any other kind of dwarves in DRG. While this has been requested by the community in the past, the dev team has deprioritized it, as it would take a lot of dev time away from actual development of the game. Deep Rock Galactic also has several accessibility options. Most of the controls for a controller and keyboard/mouse can be remapped easily. For those with visual impairments, there are several readily available mods to make the enemies, friendly NPCs, and minerals easier to see. There are also several colorblind options available. I would like to see some more configurable visual options built into the game. See The Last of Us PC remake as a good example of what DRG is missing. But the ones that currently exist already go way above and beyond the norm. Deep Rock Galactic also has the most detailed UI customization options I've ever seen. It comes with several presets to turn all the UI aspects on, all of them off, a minimal UI that can be dynamically toggled, and a button to restore the default. You can also customize every aspect of the UI individually, and either make them visible, dynamic, or just outright turn them off. There are also several community-made mods to make the game more visible. You are almost always working in dark caves, so visibility is a big concern. A player is always equipped with 4 flares and a flashlight, but many players have found that to be inadequate. Many of the most commonly used mods in the community include brighter minerals, 5 times flashlight range, and more flares. In terms of accessibility, I have already touched on the visuals, so I'd like to focus on cognitive, auditory, and speech disabilities. Deep Rock Galactic has fairly simple puzzles, and provides good direction so that even first-timers or those with cognitive impairments can make it through any of the missions without a hitch. The fact that it is also a multiplayer game helps, and having more eyes on any given problem the game presents can be of great use. There is an in-game voice system that can be configured to your liking, but it sees fairly limited usage with the excellent pinging system the game has. You can ping minerals, enemies, and objectives to communicate with your teammates easily. It can also be used to figure out what mineral you're looking at, if you're not familiar with them already. The audio system is also rather robust, allowing you to turn up or down several different sliders that control music, sound effects, characters, master volume, and voice chat volume. For those who are deaf, all the directions given by mission control, the pings from other players, and anything the player needs to know has an accompanying visual indicator. In terms of narrative, Deep Rock Galactic is a subtle yet searing indictment of the abuses that capitalism promotes. It doesn't have a conventional story mode, but does contain a lot of voice lines and in-game artifacts that characterize Deep Rock Galactic's past. And with every major update, we learn just a little more. So what does the game tell us? Well, it's a game largely about mining. You would be hard-pressed to find an industry that has historically abused its workers more than the mining industry. Back in the 1930s, following the Great Depression, mining operations used a significant amount of child labor, and photos of the children is a large part of what turned public sentiment against child labor and saw it outlawed. Mining is hot, dirty, dark, uncomfortable, back-breaking work, before you add in lackluster equipment and long-term health issues. And all of that before you add in space and massive bugs that want to kill you. Deep Rock Galactic is actually the name of the mining company the dwarves work for. They work alone on a space rig with only each other for company. Many of the dwarves' voice lines and the imagery seen within the game contain clear criticism of capitalism and, more specifically, Deep Rock as a company. The game takes place on a planet called Hoxie's 4, the deadliest planet in the galaxy. As noted in the Deep Rock Galactic wiki, only the mining corporation Deep Rock Galactic, known for a lack of safety precautions, is stubborn enough to continue mining in the sector, offering heavy paychecks and bonuses to those willing to brave the depths of Hoxie's 4. There are 1,000 other small examples of how the game subtly criticizes in-game namesake. The biggest red flag, though, is the missions themselves. If the dwarves don't get to the escape pod in time, they are left behind to die. There are even missions where you are sent in to retrieve equipment from failed missions where the dwarves died. The game has a lot to say about capitalism's abuses, and it does so with tact and clarity of purpose. The way these systems work together, like a well-oiled machine, is just a small part of why I love this game. Completely, stupidly, overlooking the incredible gameplay and almost mystic ability the game had to promote teamwork. You still have awesome developers that are active in the community, a completely free battle pass, and you would be hard-pressed to find a feature this game doesn't already have natively or through modding. It is my favorite game of all time, full stop.